way that the One system works is to try to provide a positive influence to the energy bodies of the client in order to achieve an improvement overall in health and well-being. The design goal of the system is to help to dissolve trauma and addictions and to coax the body into repairing itself from any damages that these conditions have caused at an energetic level. So in working with all clients, what we do first is to run an initial balance program. This first program, which has a default duration setting of 15 minutes, is designed to get the body's energy system into a calm and receptive state before the main work is done. Most people arriving at your clinic will likely have all kinds of energetic detritus in their energy system, which will otherwise provide some degree of interference to the incoming One information being delivered into your system. So this initial process is something of a clean-up operation. As you become experienced at this, you might well choose to vary this if you feel the need. If you're an experienced energetic practitioner, then you will understand when I elaborate on this by stating that it helps to balance each of the main 7 chakras individually and then try to bring the full set into harmony, at least as much as is possible within this set period of time. If you have ascertained that this is the first energetic session the client has ever had, or at least had in a long time, then you might want to give a longer period of time to this program. Sometimes people's energy bodies are in such a bad state that they need some serious attention before any specific work on other issues can begin. Experienced practitioners have told me that sometimes they just spend the entire first session giving the initial balance for an hour and a half if their intuition and experience tells them this is necessary. For an average person, whatever average means, the recommended 15 minutes protocol will probably be adequate and is a good starting point. If you look in the middle of the page, you will see the action plan, which is a list of programs that the One system will run in sequential order on the client. You will see initial balance as the first item in the list, and you will also see final balance, which will run after the main program has completed. Don't worry, we haven't set that just yet. The final program is to help the client feel more grounded after the main work has been done, and, in the case of the various addiction programs and also the trauma program, this final part of the session is a very important part of the protocol, so we suggest that you don't skip it or just reduce it down to a basic 5 minutes. This is less of an issue if you're running other kinds of programs, such as the body systems programs, but in all cases, some degree of this final tidy up process is important. You can alter or remove either of these options by clicking on the Initial Final Balance Options area above the action plan. Just point and click at the line of text that says click to open or close. If you untick the Run Initial Balance checkbox, then you will see that it disappears from the action plan. Although we will want it, so I'll put it back in again. Also, we can change the number of minutes that each of these items will run for in 5-minute increments, because the usage credits on the One system are charged in 5-minute intervals. So, looking back at the action plan, we just need to add the main program to the list. If we look at the text near the top of the page, we have our quick reference that this client has an addiction to morphine, so this is the program that we need to add. To do this, we click on the Add Item to Program List button. I'll just explain how this page is laid out. Down the left side in the top box are the main categories that the programs are broken out into. So at the moment we have behavioural addictions, substance addictions, and so on. When you select a category, then the individual programs within that group are shown in the lower box. For example, having chosen substance addictions in the top box, we're then shown a list of programs offered by the One system below it. In this case, as this client has a problem with morphine, we can scroll down and find it. Once you choose your program, then it shows up as the selected item in the column on the right side of the page. Immediately below this is the number of minutes that the program will run for. The default value is 60 minutes, but you can raise or lower this value in 5-minute increments by using the up and down arrows. Just as a side note here, the layout of this page will alter depending upon the size of the screen on your computer. If you have a screen that is below a certain size, then you will probably just see 2 columns here, as the program will make an effort to make the most important items fit and still be usable. As an alternate means of finding the program, you can use the search facility, also called predictive text, in box number 2. The benefit of this approach is that you don't need to know which category group any given program is in. Simply start typing the program name and it will give you a list of items that contain the same letters. As you keep typing, then the options that match your typing narrows down, although once you see your item appear, then you can click on it and it will become the selected program in the right-hand column. When you have chosen a program and set the time, then simply press the Add Program to Action List button, and you are taken back to the main session configuration page, and you will see the morphine program is now in the middle of the action plan list. And so from here, we are ready to start the session. The wristbands should be plugged into the ports on the top of the one amplifier box. Have the box near enough to the client so that there isn't any strain on the cable that would cause the box to be dragged along the table under the tension. Then connect the wrist straps onto the wrists of the client. So have the left wrist receive the cable that is plugged into the port on the box that says left, and then similar for right. If your client is comfortable, then press the green Start Session button and the process will start. If the main program is for a recreational drug, then it will not be uncommon for the client to taste that drug in the mouth, or to feel rushes of heat and adrenaline, or even to relive some of the emotions they used to feel when they actually took the real drug. This is all part of the energetic process of dissolving the addiction of the drug substance and is a normal part of the process. These rushes can feel quite intense but normally last only a few minutes. Similarly, if you are running the trauma program, then the client might experience flashbacks or a stronger sense of anxiety as the trapped emotional energy starts to dissolve back into the client's energy fields. The body has the ability to naturally dissolve low-frequency energy over time. So, for example, if you suddenly have an argument with somebody, then the energy of that encounter will stay with you for a day or two, and then after that it will subside significantly and then just be an unpleasant memory. That's the clearance process, removing this emotional energy of that experience. In the case of trauma, the emotional upset is so strong that some of that emotional energy is crystallized into the body, still radiating distress but unable to be cleared by the body's own maintenance processes. The one system nudges the body to decrystallize this trauma, but of course the result is that the freed up energy will then swim around in the energy fields until it is filtered out. This is why we have built the one system to require that the client has to be physically present for these sessions. So doing it this way means that another person is present while the work is being done and the trauma is being felt. Whilst the program is running, you will see a visual countdown of the time remaining, and if your screen is large enough, then you will also see an information column down the right side of the window. This extra detail shows the number of credits used by this action plan and will indicate which stage of the plan is currently active. If you have a smaller screen resolution, then you'll need to scroll down to see this extra information. Sometimes, and this is more common in the case of substance addictions, the client might ask if they can stop for a few minutes for a toilet break or a cigarette break, an odd notion when we are trying to clear a chemical addiction, but we actually see this thing quite a lot during this kind of therapy, so don't be surprised when it happens. The client might also need to suddenly purge. Yeah, we won't go into that in too much detail, but just be aware that it can happen, and it can come about fairly rapidly as well. You can click the pause button at any time and the program will stop the count for up to 30 minutes, after which it will assume that the run has been abandoned and close itself down anyway. But otherwise, just get the client comfortable again and then press the resume button to continue. Finally, once the full session has completed, then you are notified by the program. We recommend that you let the client sit and rest for a few minutes and then afterwards check that there is no dizziness before they leave. This then is all you need to know about how to run this central part of the One program. But the information is also available in Step 6 of the online training guide on the One website.